Have you ever heard whispers of a wartime experiment so terrifying that it scared even its own creators? Today we're diving deep into one of World War II's most chilling and forgotten secrets, a series of clandestine projects that Japan undertook, pushing the boundaries of science into the realm of nightmares. This isn't just about battles and strategy. It's a story of forbidden knowledge, moral collapse, and the fear that grips even those who wield immense power. The story begins in the shadows, far from the prying eyes of the world. Hidden away in remote, top-secret military facilities scattered across the Japanese Empire, a select group of scientists and military personnel embarked on a mission that went far beyond developing bigger bombs or faster planes. Their goal was to unlock the very secrets of life and death, to weaponize biology, chemistry, and even the human mind itself. This was a new kind of warfare, one that targeted not just soldiers on a battlefield, but the very essence of what it means to be human. Imagine isolated laboratories, buzzing with strange equipment and filled with an atmosphere of intense secrecy. Here, Japan's brightest minds were tasked with exploring concepts that sound like they're straight out of science fiction. We're talking about biological agents designed to trigger specific, horrifying effects, and chemical compounds that could alter perception and behavior on a mass scale. Declassified documents, though scarce and heavily redacted, combined with the fragmented testimonies of the few who survived, paint a chilling picture. One of the most disturbing aspects of these experiments was the focus on manipulating human physiology. The goal wasn't simply to harm, but to fundamentally change and control. Reports describe projects aimed at inducing rapid cellular mutations, creating effects that were both unpredictable and visually horrifying. Think of it as trying to rewrite the body's natural code without fully understanding the language. The results were often monstrous, leading to extreme physical transformations that defied medical explanation. The subjects of these experiments endured unimaginable suffering, becoming unwilling participants in a quest for a superweapon that was spiraling out of control. The technology itself was a double-edged sword. To accelerate their research, scientists built sophisticated custom machinery. However, this equipment was often unstable and untested. Accounts detail frequent and catastrophic malfunctions. Reactors would overheat, containment fields would fail, and experimental serums would leak, exposing the researchers themselves to the very horrors they were trying to create. The laboratories, intended to be sterile environments of scientific inquiry, often became chaotic scenes of emergency and panic. The line between experimenter and subject began to blur in the most terrifying way. Secrecy was the lifeblood of these operations. The projects were so compartmentalized that even high-ranking military officials were only aware of small pieces of the puzzle. Only a handful of individuals at the very top of the command chain knew the full, terrifying scope of what was being unleashed. This extreme secrecy fostered an environment of paranoia and fear, not just from the outside world, but from within the research teams themselves. Whispers and rumors became the primary form of communication among the lower-level scientists. They would hear stories from other labs, of failed experiments that had to be purged, of colleagues who had disappeared after witnessing something they shouldn't have. They feared the very technology they were developing. What if it couldn't be controlled? What if they created something that couldn't be contained? A biological or chemical agent that could spread indiscriminately, wiping out friend and foe alike. This wasn't just a moral dilemma, it was an existential threat. They were staring into an abyss of their own making, and they were terrified of what was staring back. This gnawing fear led to a quiet rebellion. Many brilliant scientists, initially driven by patriotism or scientific curiosity, reached a breaking point. They began to question the morality of their work. Was any military advantage worth this cost to humanity? Citing ethical objections and a deep-seated fear for the future of the planet, many refused to continue. Some attempted to sabotage their own work, subtly altering formulas or damaging equipment. Others simply walked away, disappearing into the chaos of the war, hoping to escape the monstrous legacy they were helping to build. Their defiance was a silent testament to the fact that there are some lines that science should never cross. When the war finally ended, a massive effort was made to erase these experiments from history. Evidence was destroyed, facilities were dismantled, and official records were scrubbed clean. The world's attention was focused on more public atrocities, and these shadowy projects were conveniently swept under the rug, buried beneath layers of political expediency and national shame. It was as if they had never happened. But history has a way of leaving ghosts. Fragments of the truth survived, in a forgotten diary, a declassified memo, or the haunted memories of an elderly survivor. Piecing these fragments together gives us a glimpse into this dark chapter. It's a story where ambition blinded reason, where the pursuit of power led to a catastrophic loss of humanity. It's a stark reminder that the most terrifying monsters are often the ones we create ourselves, born from our own fears and desires. The full extent of Japan's forgotten experiments may never be known. The secrets may be buried too deep, lost to time and deliberate destruction, but the whispers remain, telling a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked scientific ambition. It's a story that forces us to ask ourselves, how far is too far? And what happens when the creators of a new technology become the first to be terrified by its potential? This haunting episode remains one of the war's most profound and unsettling secrets, a chilling testament to the moment when even the architects of terror feared what they had unleashed upon the world. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into a dark corner of history. If you found this story as fascinating and unsettling as I did, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel for more explorations into the forgotten and the unknown. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Stay curious, and I'll see you in the next video.